check. I hope this is everything you've ever dreamed of.
Okay, so last week I mentioned that next Saturday I was going to be going to an event. Now, it wasn't the one from last night, because I'm going to be posting this Sunday, currently recording it Thursday. Let me just leave the confusing shit out. Either way, so I went to the Ask and Wonder event down at the Donaldson Fellowship Church over in Nashville. And it was a discussion between four people. There were two theists and two atheists. I got to meet Eric Murphy while I was there. Can you believe that Eric Murphy got to meet Hayden Michael? I mean, just look at his abundant joy and then look at me.
Okay.
We all ended up going out to dinner afterwards, and I got to meet the other atheist that was speaking there, named Joel Diamos. Yeah, I don't know. But either way, it was a great time, and as much as I would love to discuss about the discussion debate that was on hand, it's not up yet as far as I'm aware, and so you wouldn't be able to watch it or at least bounce off of it, and so I think that I'm going to plan that for another day. However, there is one thing from the discussion that I have a clear enough memory of to not fuck up on, and that's at the end when questions were being held and the two theists were questioned on, can you be wrong? And their answer was no. There was no way that they could be wrong. And so that's going to be today's topic. There's a few thoughts that I want to bounce off of it real quick. And hopefully if it's up by next week, then the next... Actually, no. I'll talk about what next video is going to be at the end of this video. But the theists answered no, they can't be wrong. And this is where progress can be blocked. And not all progress, but intellectually, yeah. Because as we've seen, false ideas stem from false ideas. And, you know... false ideas can really reinforce so much. And so we have to be careful about what we're going to think is correct or not. And especially if it has to do with our own ideas. If you're going to say, no, I cannot be wrong. Cannot be wrong. But the point that I'm getting to is that these are the things that can twist us up. These are the things that can block us. But this just comes to show that our beliefs can become these illusory facts to us, to the point that they're unquestionable. I cannot be wrong about this. We believe that we've done things and experienced things that we haven't, and sometimes it turns out that we just watched those on a video and thought that it happened to us. If you don't think you can be wrong, you're sadly mistaken. You see, we lie to ourselves constantly to reinforce experiences, ideas, values, and our own biases. The brain can trick you, and the moment you think that you can't be wrong, you've kind of fucked up. Now, not for everything, but if there's going to be a back and forth between something, and you think that if your side is just one side, if you think that you cannot be wrong, it's not a very good place to be. At least I wouldn't want to be there. But the thing is that we're wrong about so many things, even the simplest thing. Even as I was talking about our memory is malleable. It sucks all in all. And so, this is why you hear people saying, I just won't go off of intuition. Because if those things that we're consciously thinking that we're right about, that we can be wrong, then what do you think feeling is going to do? How many times have you actually felt something today and it turned out to not happen? Or you're nervous about what you're going into your work, you were late the day before, and then it turns out you had nothing to worry about. See, we trick ourselves constantly, and you wonder, and then now you wonder why everybody is a hypocrite to some degree. Now, the reason for making this video is because you would think this is so simple, and it wasn't until I got to the debate that I saw all the theists nodding with the, oh, I can't be wrong. I cannot be wrong about this. Especially when most of your reasoning is backed up by feeling, as you'll see in the debate. Because we can be completely incorrect about feelings, about what other people think. They've done a study on, they took imaging of the brain while asking people what they thought about political issues, and then asked what their God thought, and then they were asked what other people thought, and the same place in the brain when they think of something lit up the same time that they were asked what their God thinks. And then it was different whenever it was what other people think. And so this is why I'm kind of repeating on the channel a little bit about feelings and beliefs, how they can get twisted up and be incorrect, and that it actually fucks us up. Because a lot of people can agree that false ideas are bad, but they don't really grasp the concept of where they can fuck you up. It's not until you get out of those. And then the ones that you're still in, you have no clue about. I still have no clue about what false ideas I'm believing right now. This is why you try to go through all of them, and it's kind of a repeating process. But you go on just thinking and knowing, and as I've said, feeling wrong feels exactly like being right. Now, let me mention Daniel. I've talked about Daniel a few times on this channel. He's a guy that I work with who believes that fuck, I can't do it. We got this. Daniel believes he is not from here. He's born on the somewhere in the Sirius Star Galaxy. I don't understand this because he does have a belly button. It makes no sense whatsoever. Man, I need to turn that down. Oh. This individual also believes that he has powers to heal people on the spot. These are the stories that I hear. He was in a car one day with some people and they scratched someone else's car. They barely hit it or something with the mirror or whatever. And if you've ever had your car a little hit just a little bit to where it looks like there's a mark, and then you go to rub it off and it's gone, you're like, okay, and you get back in your fucking car. So apparently that's what had happened, and Daniel had gotten out of the car. He's like, hold on guys, I'm gonna use my powers. He went over there and started, massaging the car, and then after he was like, yo, it's gone, and apparently everyone else was just like acting like, oh, wow, Daniel. He apparently also, at parties, he'll be, obviously, lit as hell. He's like, yo, I need a ride, guys. I'm gonna have to go back to the bathroom and teleport if y'all can give me a ride, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of guy that Daniel is. He also doesn't think that he could be incorrect whatsoever. It feels right. You gotta think that this guy experiences, what the fuck? This guy experiences these things, not just in waking life, but also in his dreams. He talks about his dreams and him leaving his body all the time, and he talks about where he goes as if they're literal places. He's mentioned, sometimes I sit up in the... Pause. Let it be known, what I'm about to be talking about in a second is during his astral projections, this man does not do this in the waking world. Trees outside my friend's houses, and I watch them have sex, and they don't know. The creator gets on to me about it, but I'll still be doing it. This guy's kind of crazy. I kind of want to put him on. I would love to interview him. I think it'd be funny, but I don't know. That'd be kind of mean to not let him know exactly what we're doing. We're all fucking memeing him. But this guy doesn't think any of these things are wrong. He might know that some of them are wrong or think that some of them are wrong, but there's a lot of these ideas that he has that are fundamentally true to him. As fundamentally true as 1 has a value of 1 and 2 being a value of 2 and etc., for me and you. Well, I know there might be some mathematician out there who watches this and rips my asshole apart, but you're getting the idea that I'm meaning. But we don't ever wake up thinking, is the sun shining, or do I think it's shining? Or, we obviously know that the sun is shining. We don't question, as I said, numbers, fundamental things like that, like things that you would never question. To them, and people like Daniel, are those things that you hear that are so wacky. When I believed in flat earth and other conspiracies and all kinds of things, looking back, I can be like, holy cow, it was insanity. But being in that position... Because all I can tell you is my experience in that position, getting out, and where I am now. But being in those positions that these people are in, and these are the far cry types of people. You don't wake up questioning it. It's as real as the socks that you put on in the morning. And so that's why discussing with these people can be so damn hard. And I don't really want to waste a lot of my time. And I mean, I enjoy debating and arguing online, but I don't want to waste too much of my time doing that sort of thing when we can get some blocks out of the way ourselves. And that starts with considering that you could be totally wrong. I'm not meaning like just a few things that you think are wrong. I'm meaning totally wrong. Because, if you don't go, you'll always push that one little pet theory of yours, or that there's always one thing that you want to be true, and you don't realize it's a belief, and it'll be pushed along this goalpost that moves. And so you have to be willing to admit that you could be absolutely, totally incorrect. And that's the thing about the discussion at hand was these the atheists that were speaking, the secular people that were speaking. I think they answered first, but they answered no, they could be absolutely incorrect about their position and everything. See, because that's the goal, is getting better. And there was a whole tangent where they went on about getting better. I would have loved to talk about. I would have loved to jump in on that. I wouldn't have said what you thought I said, but whenever that video does come out, I plan to post the link on my Twitter. So if you have the time right now, please go down below and follow me on Twitter at FuggleKnuckler. It should pop up somewhere on the screen. You'll get updates. I always post the video first over there, and you just get that. You just get the Twitter. That's as good as it fucking gets. But just like we don't question that pi is 3.14, blah, 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 people in these can't be wrong situations literally believe that they can't be wrong. They feel it to their core. And so there's literally nothing that you can do to argue them out of it. You can question them. You can show them whether you can have them going through full-blown cognitive dissonance. You can have them going through cognitive dissonance and them knowing it, and it still might not even do anything. If you watch back enough through my videos, even back when I was like more of a believer in superstitious things, I was actually admitting to going through cognitive dissonance because I knew what it was, I knew what it felt like, and I knew that I was going through it again. But that's a whole nother topic. And so we can make this so much damn easier. It starts with admitting that you could be totally wrong and then moving on from there, making that the bottom, because a lot of people presuppose things. They put that on the bottom. But you go on from there and you find every little substance and reason you can to back up the next step and the next step and the next step in your thinking. It should lead up to what your idea is. You should not start with your idea. That is called circular reasoning. And there were times that I was trying to make sense of things, and I ended up making circular reasoning. You should look these things up because you will do them, and you won't realize that you're doing them unless you know about them. And this is what makes it just so damn fun. Not really, but if you do this and you focus on this, let's take what some of the New Agers say. What you focus on expands. Well, if you were going to take that into account, then if you focus on being wrong, you're just going to be more wrong. Well, no, because in that case, if you were just focusing on being right, you would just be more right. But when people focus on being more right, what they get is into a position of, I can't be wrong. This is why doubt is so necessary. And you should be real careful when people play that down. When people play down doubt, it gets real tricky because what they'll do is an equivocation fallacy. They'll point out that this one type of doubt is wrong, which we can all agree with. Like self-doubt, like you can't do any better at this and that, blah, 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 blah. But then they will move that type of doubt to doubt in them. If you start doubting them, that's bad. That's bad. Don't doubt your ideas. Don't doubt that you might be wrong. You should doubt that you could be wrong. Because see, without doubt, there would never be Plan B or Plan C. Because Plan B comes from doubting Plan A. Because you don't look for the holes until you doubt. Doubt is a necessary component. And when you're listening to spiritual gurus, be careful when they play down doubt. Or they'll usually bunch doubt into fear. They'll always bring it back to doubt and fear. What preachers do, they use doubt and fear to make you doubt and fear itself in a weird way. It's really terrible. But when we don't doubt, we run around thinking that we just cannot be wrong, and we look like lunatics. And I know you've caught every time you've been wrong from now, but as I said, if you still have wrong ideas, you don't know about them. Neither do I. I don't know about the wrong ideas that I have now either. And so this is why you work on it. This is why it's so important to do that. And to doubt in the process. Because I could doubt all day long that this is a statue of a rock. Is it going to hurt me? No. But if I start applying that to things in my daily life and the way that I walk around the world, they can have tragic consequences. If I have a doubt in myself, I could walk around and not do as well. See, wrong ideas have consequences, and that's the thing. We go through pros and cons of things, and people always love to play up pros, but they don't want to play out the cons. And when moving out of a specific mindset, you'll try to look at all the pros to keep it. Let's say, for example, this is back in the day, because everyone uses their phones for music. Let's say back in the day you were wanting to buy some MP3 player online, and you were looking at the reviews, but there was a lot of people saying that it stopped working after a few days or so. But let's say you really wanted that one because one of the pros was that it was shiny green and waterproof, and you really wanted that. Even when things that are conflicting are put in front of us, you'll notice that your mind will always try to go to the pro side of things. And that's the thing. What's bad about the pro side? Well, we don't worry about the bad side of the pro side. We worry about the bad side of the con side, but the consequences come. And so when you are testing your ideas, I want you to look out for that. I want you to look out for the moments when you try to look for all the pros. What could be the good in this? It's like, you tell someone to stop doing a drug, they might think, well, this could be good for this. Be careful of those things. And this is why we doubt. And this is why we think of these things. This is why I want to focus more of these things on this channel. So if you liked it, please let me know. Please let me know what you thought about this video down below. If you want me to go a certain direction, you got a video suggestion, as I recently got one from Vic the other day, which I plan to do a video on, but not now, not next. I've got 2 videos, as I said. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you believe, and let me know why you believe it. Maybe you've thought about these things before, or maybe you've been in my position and you're not, and you're like, hey, this is what I thought of when I was in your position. I'd love to know, so please leave a comment down below, and a like or dislike. I don't care. They're both good, as long as you engage. But if you enjoyed this video, please consider going down below, and while I take the time to say it and talk about nothing else, you might as well just subscribe if you're not, and hit the bell, because, well, that's just what people do on YouTube. That's what I don't know, it's just what my parents told me, and so we just keep doing it. It's tradition. So, speaking of subscribers, let's talk about news. Scratch off the live guest for now. I kind of spoke a little too soon. I am losing subscribers, and you might not notice it because it's stayed kind of at the same number the past few weeks, but I'm literally like losing 2 subs, and then I'm gaining 2 subs, and then losing 1, gaining 1. This is either A, somebody just undoing it and doing it constantly, because it literally is going just up and down, up and down, up and down, or it's due to me changing my content. And so, please subscribe, help me out. Don't let this channel die. Other than that, other news. So speaking of new content on my channel, to kick off the new content on my channel, I've been planning on dropping a shirt, but I need to finish the concept. I've mentioned to a few people about this before. You may have heard. Actually, I don't think you would have heard. But when that comes out, it's only going to be a 2-week thing. I don't plan on doing merch. It's only going to be up for a week, just for the new change in content. And so if you want to get your little souvenir, that'll be the time. I will give you, some sort of... go over to the Twitter, and you'll find out a week in advance, so that you can prepare for it. Alright, so we're going to have something new next Sunday. Spoiler, it's going to be Instagram cringe, and I'll talk about why in that video. We're going to be going over specifically spiritual cringe. Over the past couple years, I've screenshotted a lot of New Age spiritual and occult cringe, and so I have thousands of screenshots, and while I've tried to get out a video like this, having that amount of screenshots has not helped me actually hone in on a video. So we're going to scrap it for now, and we're going to go straight over to an Instagram hashtag. And so until then, if you have your own Instagram New Age occult or, mystical cringe or even something funny, send it in, and I might put it in next week's video. I already do have planned a good amount of things to go through, so we'll see then. Other than that, research promise. So Elizabeth Fritzl, I think that's how you say her name. She was the woman that I was speaking of in the last video that I said I didn't know the details of, and so I said I would be back to give you the details on that. I will leave some links to that below. She was the one who was held in captivity by her father in the basement for 24 years without her mother knowing. There's a lot more that I'm not going to speak over the microphone because I don't know what YouTube blocks your videos or does anything for, but there's a whole lot of trigger words in that. Other than that, there is nothing on the other page, so we are going to get the hell out of here. I will for you all to prosper. And have a great day.